Your garage could be quietly destroying your home value right now. Zonda's 2025 Cost versus Value report just confirmed that one specific garage upgrade returns 267.7% of its cost, the highest of any home improvement in America. However, there are also 5 awful garage features that gut resale prices, and most homeowners are sitting on at least one of them without ever realizing it. We're rolling straight into number 5, carpeted garage floors. It sounds harmless on the surface. Some homeowner gets cold feet walking to their car on a winter morning and decides to slap indoor carpet on the concrete slab. The garage now stays warmer, appears more finished, and matches the rest of the house. But what they didn't realize is that they just turned their garage into a slow-burning fire trap. The detail nobody talks about is the chemistry. Standard indoor carpet acts like a giant sponge for petroleum products. Gasoline drips from the lawnmower, oil leaks from the car, brake fluid spills during a quick repair, and all of it soaks deep into the carpet fibers over time. According to all garage floors, a single spark from a power tool or even a water heater pilot light has been enough to ignite carpet fires that completely destroyed homes. Many local fire ordinances now ban indoor carpet installations in residential garages for exactly this reason. But the fire risk isn't the worst part. Garage slabs are floating concrete, which means moisture constantly wicks up from the soil beneath them. Cover that slab with carpet, and you've created a permanent mold incubator that grows silently for years. Home inspectors flag this on walkthroughs, and NHI's published inspection standards specifically warn about microbial growth on unsealed garage floors. So what happens when a buyer's inspector lifts a corner of that carpet during the deal? They find black mildew, hardened oil stains, and a crumbling slab underneath. The buyer panics, the negotiation tanks, and the seller is suddenly staring at a $400 to $800 removal credit before anyone even talks about replacing the floor properly. That cost is the hidden penalty most homeowners never see coming. However, the next mistake on this list works in a completely different way because it destroys curb appeal before a buyer even steps inside the home. Now let's move on to number 4, the Snout house garage design. A Snout house is exactly what it sounds like. The garage sticks out from the front of the home like a bulldog's nose, dominating the entire street view. Most homes built between the late 1970s and early 2000s in cramped suburban developments use this exact layout, and buyers in 2026 absolutely hate it. The math behind why is brutal. According to Zonda's 2025 Cost versus Value report, the garage door alone covers roughly 1/3 of a home's entire front-facing facade. On a Snout house, that ratio climbs even higher, meaning the very first thing a buyer's eye lands on is a giant slab of beige metal. Curb appeal collapses before the buyer ever sees the actual house behind the garage, but the lesser-known angle is the construction cost penalty. Housing Design Matters, a national residential architecture firm, calculated that a Snout layout adds roughly 240 extra square feet of exterior wall compared to a tucked-in garage on the same floor plan. At about $6 per square foot of brick cladding, that's $1,440 in wasted construction cost for a less attractive design. The Snout also steals around 12 feet of usable backyard depth, which destroys value in family-focused neighborhoods. The hostility toward this design runs so deep that the city of Portland, Oregon actually banned new Snout house construction in 1999. They argued that protruding garages degrade neighborhood walkability and curb appeal, and that ordinance still stands today. Other planning commissions across the country have followed similar paths over the years. You can't really fix a Snout layout without tearing into the foundation itself. However, sellers can mask the damage with the highest return upgrade in America, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But before we touch that, there's something even sneakier hiding inside the garage that quietly chops thousands off the final sale price. Number 3 is the tandem garage setup. If you've never heard the term, a tandem garage is one extra long bay where you park one car directly behind the other. Builders love this layout because it lets them squeeze a so-called two-car garage onto a narrow lot. Homeowners think they're getting a real two-car garage, but appraisers and buyers treat it like 1.5 cars at best. Jamie Owen, a Cleveland-based appraiser who runs the Cleveland Appraisal blog, calls tandem garages a textbook example of functional obsolescence. He literally searches MLS listings for the word tandem, just so he can adjust those comparable sales downward in his reports. That adjustment isn't small either. The real dollars show up in actual market data. Stephanie Lindemood, a Dallas area real estate broker, broke it down on LinkedIn. A genuine side-by-side three-car garage adds roughly $8,000 to $10,000 in home value compared to a standard two-car layout. But a tandem third bay adds only $6,000 to $8,000, which means homeowners are losing between $2,000 and $4,000 per tandem space without ever knowing it. Working appraisers on Appraisers Forum confirm those adjustment numbers consistently across multiple markets. The hidden lifestyle penalty is the part nobody mentions on real estate listings. One Irvine, California Real Estate Forum user put it bluntly. Tandem garages are a daily nightmare for couples and families because someone always has to move their car at the worst possible moment. That mental friction wears people down within months, which means tandem homes get relisted faster, sit on market longer, and pull fewer offers when they finally do sell. Coastal California, Seattle, Denver infill markets, and East Coast townhome developments punish tandems the hardest. However, this next garage feature might be even worse because it doesn't just cost you money. It actually makes the garage useless for the most popular vehicles on American roads right now. Coming in at number 2, the garage that won't fit your truck. Garages built between 1970 and the late 1990s were designed for sedans like the Honda Accord and the Ford Taurus. They typically measure around 18 by 20 feet or 20 by 22 feet, with a standard 7-foot-tall door. The problem is that the average American vehicle has grown massively over the last 25 years, and most older garages simply can't fit them anymore. According to a 2020 Autoblog investigation citing USA Today data, a 2021 Chevy Suburban measures 225.7 inches long, leaving only 7.2 inches of total clearance inside a 20-foot deep bay. A Ford F-150 Super Crew with a 6.5-foot bed comes in at 209.3 inches, barely fitting. An F-250 Super Cab doesn't fit at all. The Tesla Cybertruck stretches to 231.7 inches, and Tesla engineers reportedly explored shrinking the truck's footprint just so it could fit inside standard residential garages. But the part most YouTube videos completely skip is the building code problem. Under International Residential Code Section M1307.3.1, any gas water heater or furnace inside a garage must be physically protected from vehicle impact with steel bollards or curbs. Section P2801.7 requires the ignition source to sit at least 18 inches off the floor unless the appliance is certified flammable vapor ignition resistant. In states like Oregon, those bollards have to be 48 inches tall and 3 inches thick, embedded into concrete piers. They eat 2 to 4 feet of parking depth on their own. A Dallas area homeowner named Kristen Trevino told Vice in 2020 that maneuvering her F-150 into her own garage was nearly impossible. She's nowhere close to being alone in that frustration. Real estate agents across Texas, Wyoming, and Montana privately admit that homes with undersized garages sit on the market 15 to 30% longer than comparable homes with truck-friendly bays. However, the absolute worst garage decision on this entire list is something homeowners actually do to themselves voluntarily, and it can wipe out tens of thousands of dollars overnight. The worst offender lands at number 1, the garage conversion into living space. On paper, this one seems smart. Adding square footage by converting the garage into a bedroom, an office, or a home gym should boost home value. But the market punishes this decision in most American zip codes, and the data backing that up is genuinely brutal. Adam Aguilar, a Los Angeles real estate agent, said it plainly in a realtor syndicated piece. Garage conversions are detrimental to value, not just for the seller, but for the buyer's lender too. Even if a buyer personally loves the converted space, the lender often refuses to count it as gross living area on the appraisal. The seller gives up a functional garage and gets nothing back on paper. Sacramento appraiser Ryan Lundquist documented one of the cleanest case studies on record. An investor bought a bank-owned home with a converted garage at $185,000. Instead of leaving the conversion in place, the investor reversed it completely. They tore out the bedroom walls, reinstalled a real garage door, and relisted the property. The home sold for $250,000 in just 19 days. That's a $65,000 swing from simply giving back the garage. The deeper secret is the financing trap. Patrick Hake, a RE/MAX Gold broker in Auburn, California, warned that unpermitted conversions scare off up to 60% of potential buyers immediately. Lenders refuse to finance the square footage. Inspectors flag fire code violations on the garage-to-house separation wall, and insurance companies hesitate to write policies. Aaron Stumpf from Dunnigan Realtors added that buyers always ask whether the garage can be restored, and if the door has been bricked over or covered with siding, restoration costs balloon fast. The only real exception is hot ADU markets like parts of California and Oregon, where a fully permitted conversion can pay off through long-term rental income. Everywhere else, garage conversion is one of the most expensive mistakes a homeowner can make. However, now we flip the entire script around and look at 3 garage features that actually add real, verifiable cash to your home's final sale price. At number 3 sits the Epoxy garage floor coating. This one is the affordable upgrade category, but the return is real if you do it right. A professional epoxy or polyaspartic floor coating turns a stained, cracked concrete slab into a finished, glossy surface that signals serious home maintenance to every buyer who walks in. The numbers tell the story clearly. Industry data from HomeAdvisor suggests a quality epoxy floor adds roughly $8 per square foot in resale value, which means a typical 500 square foot 2-car garage can boost the home sale price by up to $4,000. Armor Garage data estimates a 5 to 15% jump in the perceived value of the garage itself, translating to $2,000 to $6,000 on a $400,000 home. Multiple coating contractors, including Haven the Ceiling Man in Allentown and several Southern California installers, report that coated homes sell for $5,000 to $10,000 more on average. But the trap most homeowners fall into is the DIY route. Box store epoxy kits cost $200 to $900, and they almost always peel within 12 to 24 months. Home inspectors spot the failure instantly, and listing photos of cracked, flaking floors actively reduce offers. Professional polyaspartic systems run $3 to $15 per square foot installed, but they come with documented warranties and last for decades. The reason buyers respond so strongly is psychological. A clean, finished garage floor mentally expands the perceived usable square footage of the home. Buyers start imagining a workshop, a gym, or a hobby room instead of dirty storage space. That mental reframe alone shifts offers upward in negotiations. However, the next value adder taps into something even bigger than psychology. It's tied to a multi-trillion-dollar industry shift that's already reshaping American real estate, and homeowners who get ahead of it are quietly cashing in on every sale. Up at number 2 is the Level 2 EV charger install. If you've been ignoring this one because you don't own an electric car, you're missing the entire point of the upgrade. The Level 2 charger isn't really for the seller. It's for the buyer who hasn't bought an EV yet, but plans to within the next 3 years. That future-proofing is exactly what makes the install valuable in 2026. The peer-reviewed research backing it up is genuinely strong. A study published in Nature Sustainability in 2023, authored by Jing Liang and colleagues at Princeton and the University of Maryland, analyzed roughly 14 million California housing transactions between 1993 and 2021. They found that homes located within 1 kilometer of an EV charging station sold at a 3.3% price premium, averaging $17,212 per home. Homes within 400 to 500 meters captured an even bigger premium of 5.8%. An in-garage Level 2 charger isn't identical to proximity to public charging. However, appraisers do treat hardwired 240-volt chargers as permanent building improvements, typically adding $2,000 to $5,000 in appraised value. Realtor.com analysis suggests homes with Level 2 chargers sell up to 13% faster than comparable homes without one. Zillow's Sustainable Home Features research estimates a 1.5 to 3.5% resale premium, depending on regional EV adoption rates. The hidden secret most homeowners miss is the install math itself. A professional Level 2 hardwired install runs $800 to $2,500, depending on the panel work required. Many state programs and local utility companies offer rebates between $200 and $1,000 for residential installations, which can drop the effective out-of-pocket cost dramatically. One critical detail is worth flagging though. A 120-volt outlet adds essentially zero appraisal value. Buyers want a hardwired 240-volt Level 2 system with smart Wi-Fi networking, ideally from a recognized brand. The premium is strongest in California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, and parts of New York. However, the single highest return garage upgrade in America in 2026 isn't the floor or the charger. It's something most homeowners walk right past every single day without ever stopping to think about it. And finally, sitting at the top of the list at number 1, the garage door replacement itself. This is the one. According to Zonda's 38th Annual Remodeling Cost versus Value Report released in 2025, a basic garage door replacement now returns 267.7% of its cost at resale. That's the highest return on investment of any single home improvement project tracked across all 28 categories in the entire study. The average job cost sits at $4,672, and the estimated added resale value comes in at $12,507. That's nearly $3 back for every dollar spent. The trajectory of this number tells you everything. In 2023, the same project returned 102.7%. In 2024, it climbed to 193.9%. In 2025, it exploded to 267.7%. That's a 165 percentage point jump in just 2 years, while installation costs only rose by roughly $370 over the same period. The reason buyers reward this upgrade so heavily comes down to visual psychology. The garage door covers up to 1/3 of a home's front-facing facade, which means it dominates the listing photo and the very first impression a buyer forms. An updated, modern door signals overall property maintenance and reduces buyer hesitation immediately. A worn, beige, panel-style door screams deferred maintenance before the buyer even parks at the curb. One caveat is worth mentioning honestly though. The 267.7% number reflects mid-range insulated steel doors in the $4,000 to $5,000 range. Custom wood doors or full glass designs costing $10,000 and up don't hold the same ROI ratio. Stick with a mid-range insulated steel option, add a quiet belt drive opener with smart features, and you've nailed the single highest paying home improvement in America in 2026. Your garage is one of the few rooms in the entire house that pays you back when you sell. So treat it like the asset it actually is. If this helped you out, hit subscribe and stick around for more.